Okay. Eldritch Invocation options. Apparently, here's a summary of the main changes to the invocation options since they appeared in Player's Handbook Playtest 5. Agonizing Blast now lets you choose which Warlock cantrip benefits from the invocation. Ah! Intriguing. So... Okay. Wait a second. That's kind of cool. Is this going to mean that it's also going to say that you can only add the damage once? Because that would be funny. Ascendant Step now requires 5+ rather than 9+. I think Ascendant Step is... Yeah, you can cast Levitate on yourself. Which, to be fair, since your spell slots level have kind of halved, that makes sense. Devil's Sight now works in dim light as well as darkness. It didn't? Oh, it said you can see normally in darkness. I think I've always played Devil's Sight, as you can just see if it's dim light as well. Okay. Eldritch Mind has been imported from Tasha's. Sure. Eldritch Sight is gone. Since Detect Magic is now on the Warlock spell list and can be cast as a ritual. Okay, sure. Sure. I can live with that. Eldritch Smite has been imported. Oh god, no. Oh god, no. Please, no. Okay. Eldritch Spear now lets you choose which Warlock cantrip benefits from it. Eyes of the Runekeeper has been removed. Since Comprehend Languages is on the Warlock spell list and can be cast, sure. Favor of the Chainmaster has been cut. In favor of importing Investment of the Chainmaster from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Okay. Alright, that Favor of the Chainmaster was the upgrade to your Pact Familiar. Sure. Okay. Fiendish Vigor no longer requires you to roll a die when casting False Life. You instead gain the maximum number of temporary hit points. So, at level 1 you get 8. Okay, I think this is only a one-time cast though, right? Fiendish? Oh no, you can cast False Life on yourself without expending a spell slot and using material components. Never mind, it's a permanent thing. So, this is... Yeah, that does make this a really good feature. That just pretty much means... Well, no, because you're always going to be casting at level 1. Which means, early game it's good because you just get 8 temporary hit points, but later down the line it becomes worse. Yeah, okay. Gaze of Two Minds now works on any willing creatures, not just humanoids. Okay, sure. Gift of the Depths has been imported. Eldritch Minds and Hexer has been removed. Okay. Investment of the Chainmaster has been imported. Lessons of the first ones can now be taken more than once. Oh right, Lesson of the first ones is like you can get a feat that's available to first level characters and that lacks prerequisites. Like you can just pick up like skilled a couple of times and all that now. I mean sure. If you want to replace invocations with feats. Life Drinker now lets you choose to deal necrotic, psychic, or radiant damage, and its healing is connected to your hit die. Right, because it used to be you just deal necrotic damage and regain a number of hit points equal to your necrotic damage. Okay, Master of the Myriad Forms now requires level 5+ instead of 15+. Oh, Alter Self, yeah, but Alter Self, yeah, no, that makes sense. One with the Shadows now lets you cast invisibility without a spell slot while you're in dim light or darkness. Ooh. What did this used to be? Was it not any? Oh, here. Dim light or darkness, you can use your action to have the invisible condition until you move or take an action, bonus action, or a reaction. So that's a buff, right? Because here it literally says until you move, take an action, bonus action, or reaction. Now it's invisibility, which means movement doesn't break it, and not all actions break it. So that's kind of cool. Now, Otherworldly Leap now requires level 2 plus then 9 plus. Yeah, because Jump is a first level spell. Then Pact of the Blade, Pact of the Chain, Pact of the Tome are now Invocations. Pact of the Chain includes some additional familiar options. Pact of the Tome gives you a level 1 spell slot. Thirsting Blade returns. Now improves at level 11. Visions of the Distant Realm now requires 9 plus rather than 15 plus, which makes sense. Arcane Eye, I think, is a 5th level spell. Whispers of the Grave now requires 7 rather than 9. Makes sense because I think Speak with Dead is a 3rd level spell. Okay, sure. Agonizing Blast. Prerequisite, at least 1 Warlock cantrip. Choose one of your known Warlock cantrips that deals damage. You can add your spellcasting ability modifier to that spell's damage rolls. If you can a Warlock level, you can change which of your damaging Warlock cantrips benefits. So, if you're saying add your spellcasting ability modifier to that spell's damage rolls, does that mean that if I pick it on Firebolts, for each of the rolls I get to add my charisma modifier, which means that Firebolt literally becomes 4d10 plus 20 at level 20? Or does that mean you get to add it to your damage roll, like the total damage roll, which I think they're going to have to specify that here. I'm assuming it's like Firebolt would deal, like, let's say at level 5, 2d10 plus, let's say plus 4, because your charisma is probably 18 at that point. So, yeah. So Armor of Shadows didn't change. Cast Mage Armor on yourself. Levitate on yourself. See normally in dim light and darkness. Eldritch Mind. You have advantage on Constitution saving throws that you make to maintain concentration on a spell. Yeah, so that's that one. So pretty much you get out of sheer. Oh, but War Magic. The War Magic feat has a prerequisite, right? Warcaster, sorry. Warcaster has a prerequisite, which means the other one that gives you feats, yeah, it has a prerequisite of the ability to cast at least one spell. So actually, with the, what is it, Lessons of the First One, which literally says you have received knowledge from it. You can choose to gain one feat of your choice that is available to first level characters and that lacks prerequisites. So Warcaster has a prerequisite, so you can't actually take that with Lessons of the First One. So that means that Eldritch Mind does have a place in this technically. Ironically enough. Eldritch Smite, here we go. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with your packed weapon, you can expend a Warlock spell slot to deal an additional 1d8 force damage to the target, plus another 1d8 per level of the spell slot. You can give the target the prone condition if it's huge or smaller. Okay, it's Pact of the Blade and it's level 5. So this is... I was wondering what they were going to do with this, because this was a replacement to Paladin Divine Smite. Which, to be fair, it still kind of is. Because I'm pretty sure you can combine the bonus action Divine Smites with these. So pretty much you're going 2 levels Paladin and then go into Warlock and you deal a shit ton of damage. But yeah, okay, so we're getting Eldritch Smite. Yeah, sure. Eldritch Spear. Choose one of your unknown Warlock cantrips that feels damage, has a range of at least 10 feet. When you cast that spell, its range increases by a number of feet equal to 30 times your Warlock level. Wait, we had this at one point. Distant Spell had this at one point. What? This... Wait, I thought... Okay, so it's not 300 feet anymore. So if you pick this up at level 1, Firebolt becomes 150, then it becomes 180. Sure. I mean, it's cantrips, though. To be fair, yeah, Distant Spell was on any spell. This is on cantrips. So it's a little bit more balanced, at least. You can cast False Life on yourself without expending a spell slot. When you cast a spell with this feature, you don't roll, you get automatically get the highest number on the die. Here's the thing, Fiendish Vigor, like, False Life is a d4 plus 4, so early game this is going to be good, but, like, later down the line, it's going to lose its value. So Gaze of the Two Minds, doesn't really do much specially. Gift of the Depths, you can breathe underwater, you gain a swim speed, you can also cast water breathing. Once without, sure. Gift of the Protectors, a new page appears. Actually, I do want to see where the pacts are. New page appears in your Book of Shadows. When you conjure it with your permission, a creature can use its action to write its name. The page, and if it's dropped to 0, it drops to 1 instead, right? Yeah. Investment of the Chain Master. When you cast Find Familiar, you infuse the summoned familiar with a measure of Eldritch power, granting the creature the following benefits. Gains a flyer swim speed. As a bonus action, you can command the familiar to take the attack action. Whenever the familiar deals bludgeoning, piercing, slashing damage, you can make it deal necrotic or radiant instead. If the familiar forces the creature to make a save, it uses your spell save DC. And when the familiar takes damage, you can use your reaction to grant it resistance against that damage. Probably quick attack, right? I would assume. Although not necessarily. Because you can cast spells through... No, but that's already your saving throw. Never mind. So... it's going to depend on the pact, I guess. Lessons of the first ones. Yes, this now becomes repeatable, which we knew. Actually, I just realized a bunch of these are... okay, so you actually have a lot... okay, I actually thought a lot of these were going to have prerequisite level 2, but apparently that's not the case. So you don't have to pick up a pact. You can actually play a pactless... or like a pact boonless warlock now. So it's just a free invocation that you're getting. Nice. So Life Drinker we looked at, you deal... oh wait. Oh yeah, but now you expend one of your hit dice to roll and regain a number. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. I liked it better when you actually drank the life from your enemies. It's only a d6. That's not gonna make any huge differences. The fact that... to be fair, I've been whining about like ways to use hit dice for so long, and now they give it to us and I'm complaining about it. But like, I don't know. This feels like a weird one to put hit dice on. Just off of the fact that, like, Life Drinker is, like, you drink the life from your enemies. So it just feels like it makes more sense that you can just deal this damage and then heal. Personal opinion. Mask of Many Faces, Master of Myriad Forms. This is going to be interesting. Do you just replace Mask of Many Faces with Master at some point? Like, you can cast Silent Image, ones with the shadows we looked at. You can cast Jump. Pact of the Blade. As a bonus action, you can trace arcane sigils in the air to conjure a pact weapon on your hand. Simple of martial melee weapon of your choice with which you bond, so you're conjuring the weapon. When you attack with the bonded weapon, you can use your charisma modifier for the attacking damage rolls instead of using strength or dexterity. It can cause the weapon to deal necrotic, psychic, radiance, or deal its normal damage type. Okay. So... Hexblade's not going to be a thing anymore, is it? Because, like, why would you... Yeah. Why, yeah. Hexblade's not gonna be a thing anymore. Pretty much, right? I don't think, I don't, maybe they'll bring back Hexblade, but, like... I don't know. Okay. Sure. Back to the chain. You learn the Find Familiar spell, cast it. When you cast a spell, choose one of the normal forms for your familiar, or Imp, Pseudo-Dragon, Quasit, Skeleton? You can have a skeleton as your familiar. Okay, that's kind of cool. Slot tadpole or sprites, and when you take the attack action, you can forego one of your own attacks to allow your familiar to make one attack of its own with its reaction. Sure, and then you can have quick attack. It can become an actual Pokemon with quick attack. That's kind of cool. Gotta be honest. Yeah, pretty much you just cast your Find Familiar and then you have it be put into battle if you're like using a skeleton or something. That's kind of cool. Back to the tome. Stitching together Strings of Shadow, you conjure forth a book in your hand at the end of a short or long rest. This Book of Shadows contains Eldritch magic that only you can access, granting you the following benefits. When the book appears, choose 3 cantrips, and choose 2 level 1 spells that have the ritual tags. The spells can be from any class of spell lists, and they must be spells you don't have prepared. While the book is in your person, you have the chosen spells prepared, and they function as warlock spells. And you get a level 1 spell slot. Yay. Okay. I mean, they buffed Pact to the Tome a little bit, which I think was kind of necessary, because Pact to the Tome has always, in my personal opinion, kind of been the weaker of the 3. So yeah, I think this is... Although I will say, I would have preferred them saying you gain an additional Warlock spell slot. But then this might have been too broken, because then you would have gotten, like, too many spell slots, maybe. But then that would have solved the problem of, hey, I can't cast enough spells. So I think I would have liked this to just be, you get a spell slot. I don't know. Repelling Blast, when you hit a larger or smaller creature with Eldritch Blast, push it 10 feet away. Thirsting Blade, you get an extra attack. So they put Thirsting Blade back, as expected. Oh shit, really? When you reach 11th level in this class, this extra attack confers 2 extra attacks instead of 1. Wait, really? So they don't give this to Barbarian, they don't give this to Monk, but they do give this to fucking Warlock of all things. Warlock gets the 3rd attack. Are you shitting me? They're really trying to make Warlock just be, like, a solo class, aren't they? I feel like they're trying to make Warlock into, like, this broken piece of shit class that everybody's gonna be like, oh, it's broken, except for Wizard, because Wizard is insane. Arcane Eye, we looked at that. Speak with Dead and True Sight within a range of 30 feet. Okay. Well, that was Warlock.